Excel level 4 and 5. So today we will talk about syntax and parts of speech. So the first thing that we need to know is that English has 8 parts of its speech. Each part plays an important role to communicate ideas. So the first one that we're looking at is the article, and the article defines a noun as defined or undefined. That means something that is very specific or something that is very general. For example, a dog is undefined because it refers to any generic animal. The dog is defined because it talks about a very defined animal. So, for example, if I were to make a sentence with undefined article, a dog barks at night. That is any dog that I hear. Now, if I make it define, it would be the dog from next door barks at night, right? So it's not any dog, but the dog next door. The second part is the noun, and the noun is basically the name of anything, right? So person's name, a place's name, anything with a name becomes a noun. And then we have two types of nouns. We have proper nouns, which are people and places, specific places rather. And then we have improper nouns, which is again the name of anything. So for example, if I were to point to a park, I would say the park close to my house, right? So I am using a defined article, but I'm using an improper noun, right? So here it's just the park. Now, if I were to use a proper noun, I would say Cesar Chavez Park because that's the name of the park. If I refer to other places like I will go to the hospital, I don't know which one, but I'll go. There I am using improper nouns. Now, if I were to use a proper noun, I would say I am going to Kaiser Permanente, right? So that's a specific place with a specific name. Then we have the pronouns, and the pronoun is the substitute of the noun. There are 3 types of pronouns: the first person, the second person, and the third person. So I is the first person singular, we is the first person plural, you is the second person plural and singular, and then we have he, she, it, which is the third person singular, and they, which is the third person plural. So when we are talking about a noun, then we don't want to repeat ourselves. We use a pronoun. For example, my sister works at the county office, period. She drives there every day. So instead of saying my sister twice, I refer to her as she on the second sentence. So I'm substituting the noun sister for the pronoun she, right? So the function of the pronoun is to substitute a noun. so we don't repeat ourselves when we're referring to the same thing. The adjective. An adjective is something that describes a noun. So basically, a color, a mood, something that you feel. So for example, happy, sad, a color, blue, yellow, red, a size, small, big, medium, right? So those are adjectives. Basically, it tells us how something looks like, how something feels like, how something sounds like. It's a descriptive word, right? So it describes objects, describes people. Then we have the verb. And with the verb, we're telling an action, right? So the verb is an action. We do something or someone does something, that's the verb. And the verb comes in two forms. It comes as the infinite, which we could say is the rough form, the general form, and then the conjugated form. That means it's shaped into a person and a time. For example, to be is the infinite form of the verb. I am is the conjugated form. So be, infinite form, and am, conjugated form. Then we have the adverb, and the adverb describes the verb. We might call it intensity, right? So how intense is an action? How was the action done? So, for example, he runs quickly. She writes well. I talk fast, right? So those are adverbs. They describe how we do the action. Then we have the conjunction, and there are four types of conjunctions. We will basically only concentrate on one type, which is the um, coordinating conjunction. The other ones will come on later. So the coordinating conjunctions basically connect statements or words, right? So what we in English call also clauses. So we have the independent clauses, dependent clauses. That will be a subject for another day. But basically, coordinating conjunction put those things together, right? So for, and, nor, but, or, yet, the fan voice, right? Those are the coordinating conjunctions that will put things together. So for example, I like to play alone, and I like to be by myself, right? So and is the coordinating conjunction that is uniting two statements or two clauses, right? Then we have the preposition, and the preposition gives you reference to space. So basically, when we use a preposition, we are saying the spatial relationship between one object and the other. So here are some examples. So my glass is on the table. So is the relationship between my glass and the table. The glass is on top of it, right? So on tells you where the glass is with respect to the table. Laura's keys are in the drawer. Again, it tells you the relationship between in between the keys and the drawer. What on how the space is shared. The last one we have here is the interjection, which is basically simply a noise that we make to accentuate a statement. Now, when it comes to English syntax, the formula for the basic sentence is very simple. So, in order for us to write a complete sentence, it follows this formula, which again is very simple. So the basics are you put the noun, the verb, and the object. That's basically it. For example, we look at this picture. So we see a dog, we see what the dog is doing, and how the dog is doing it, right? So the sentence here, right? So if I were to write a sentence, I would write it as the dog jumps over the rock, right? So that would be the sentence. The noun, dog, the verb, jumps, and the object, rock. So the object is the thing that gets the action, right? So the noun is the one that does the thing. Then we have the verb, which is the action, and the object, which receives the action. In this case, it's very straightforward. So we have the dog, or dog, which is the noun, jump, or jumps, in this case, which is the action of what the animal is doing, and then what is happening with regards to the action. So this is the very simple syntax in English. Now on the next lesson, we will talk about the parts of the sentence and how we are going to expand on this knowledge. So I hope you have a great day, and thank you for listening.